There was a time when owning a Mercedes-Benz wasn't just about driving a car, it was about arriving. A three-pointed star on your hood meant success, status, and engineering that could outlive generations. But today, that same badge on an older car has become something people actively avoid. Cars that once cost six figures are now selling for the price of a used motorcycle, and still nobody wants them. So what went wrong? How did one of the most respected automotive brands in history turn its aging cars into financial nightmares? And why are people choosing cheaper brands over a legendary name? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at an old Mercedes the same way again. Chapter 1. The illusion of a cheap luxury car. At first glance, buying an old Mercedes-Benz feels like the ultimate life hack. You scroll through listings and suddenly there it is. A once $80,000 S-Class now available for just $5,000. Leather seats, wood trim, a badge that still commands respect. It feels like you've beaten the system, but the truth is, you've just entered it, because the price you see is not the price you pay, it's just the entry fee. Old luxury cars don't depreciate like normal vehicles, they collapse. And when they do, they take their maintenance costs with them, unchanged. That's the trap. The parts don't become cheaper just because the car is older. The engineering doesn't become simpler. The labor doesn't suddenly become affordable. You're still dealing with a machine that was built to elite standards, using specialized components that were never designed to be cheap. And this creates what enthusiasts call the $5,000 car rule. You buy the car for $5,000 and then spend another $5,000 or even $10,000 just trying to keep it alive. It's not a bargain, it's a delayed bill. And for most buyers, that's the moment reality hits. The dream of owning a luxury car turns into a cycle of repairs, breakdowns, and unexpected expenses. Because when it comes to old Mercedes cars, the biggest lie is the price tag. Chapter 2. Engineering that became a curse. Mercedes-Benz built its reputation on engineering excellence. Especially during the 1980s and early 1990s, their cars were famously overbuilt, designed to last decades, sometimes even outliving their owners. But then something changed. As technology advanced, so did complexity. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, Mercedes vehicles became packed with electronics, sensors, and systems that were far ahead of their time, but not built to age gracefully. Take models like the W14 OS class. These cars introduced cutting-edge features, soft close doors, advanced climate control, electronic seats, and intricate wiring systems. At the time, it was revolutionary. Today, it's a nightmare. Because when these systems fail, and they do, you're not fixing a simple mechanical issue. You're dealing with layers of interconnected electronics that often require tearing apart the interior just to diagnose. A single malfunctioning module can trigger multiple errors. A simple repair can turn into a full-day teardown. And sometimes, the problem isn't even fixable. Parts are discontinued, systems are outdated, diagnostic tools are limited. What was once a masterpiece of engineering has become an unsolvable puzzle. And that's the irony. The very thing that made Mercedes great, its obsession with innovation, has made its older cars incredibly difficult to own today. Chapter 3. The day build quality started to slip. For decades, Mercedes-Benz was known for building cars like tanks. Doors closed with a vault-like thud. Interiors felt indestructible. Paint lasted for years without fading. But somewhere around the mid-1990s, that reputation began to crack. Enthusiasts often point to this era as the moment when cost-cutting quietly entered the picture. Materials started to feel cheaper. Plastics replaced metal in key areas. Paint quality declined, and the overall solid feel that defined older Mercedes models slowly disappeared. This wasn't immediately obvious when the cars were new, but as they aged, the difference became impossible to ignore. Door handles began to feel flimsy. Interior trim started peeling. Buttons stopped responding. The once premium cabin began to show wear far earlier than expected. And then there was rust. Older Mercedes models, particularly from the late 90s and early 2000s, became notorious for corrosion issues. Areas that were once resistant to rust suddenly became vulnerable, leading to structural and cosmetic damage that's expensive and sometimes impossible to fix. This shift in build quality didn't just affect reliability, it affected trust. Because when people buy a Mercedes, they're not just buying a car, they're buying a legacy. And when that legacy starts to feel compromised, the appeal of owning an older model fades quickly. Chapter 4. When reliability becomes unpredictable. Reliability in old Mercedes-Benz cars isn't just about things things breaking, it's about how unpredictably they break. One day, everything works perfectly. The next day, your windows stop responding, the central locking system refuses to function, and the climate control decides it no longer cares about your comfort. These aren't catastrophic failures. They're small, strange, and frustrating issues that slowly chip away at the ownership experience. Vacuum-operated door locks fail without warning. Air conditioning systems stop cooling despite no obvious leaks. Electrical gremlins appear and disappear like ghosts. And the worst part, diagnosing these problems is often harder than fixing them, because older Mercedes systems weren't designed with modern diagnostics in mind. Many of these cars rely on outdated technology that even experienced mechanics struggle to interpret, so you end up in a loop visiting workshops, replacing parts, and hoping something works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and over time, that uncertainty becomes exhausting, because owning a car shouldn't feel like solving a mystery every week. But with old Mercedes-Benz models, that's exactly what it becomes. Chapter 5. The dealer that doesn't want you anymore. You'd think that owning a Mercedes-Benz would come with lifelong support, but that's not always the case. In fact, many official dealerships have an unspoken rule. Once your car crosses a certain age, usually around 20 years, it's no longer their responsibility. They simply won't service it. Why? Because they can't. Parts are no longer available. Diagnostic systems don't support older models. Technicians are trained on modern vehicles, not legacy systems from decades ago. So even if you're willing to pay premium prices, the dealership may still turn you away, and that leaves you with independent mechanics. Now, while there are skilled specialists out there, finding one who truly understands older Mercedes systems can be difficult and expensive, and even when you do find one, you're still limited by parts availability. Some components are discontinued, others are only available through rare suppliers, and in some cases, they simply don't exist anymore. So you're left with a car that can't be properly serviced by the people who built it, and that's when ownership stops being convenient and starts becoming a burden. Chapter 6. The depreciation disaster. Nobody talks about luxury cars are known for depreciation, but Mercedes-Benz takes it to another level. Cars like the S-Class, once the pinnacle of automotive engineering, lose value at a staggering rate. Within a decade, they can drop to a fraction of their original price. And while that might seem like a good deal for buyers, it's actually a warning sign, because depreciation isn't random. It reflects ownership costs. The market knows these cars are expensive to maintain. It knows repairs can exceed the car's value. It knows reliability isn't guaranteed, so prices fall accordingly. And this creates a strange situation where the car is cheap to buy, but expensive to own. It's the opposite of what most people expect, because usually a lower price means lower risk. But with old Mercedes-Benz vehicles, a lower price often means higher risk. And that's why many buyers walk away, not because they don't love cars, but because they understand the cost behind it. Chapter 7. The rise of smarter alternatives. While old Mercedes-Benz cars struggle to maintain their appeal, other brands have quietly taken their place. One of the biggest names in this shift is Lexus. Unlike Mercedes, Lexus built its reputation on reliability rather than complexity. Their cars may not always feel as cutting edge, but they're designed to last, and more importantly, to age gracefully. So when buyers compare options, the choice becomes clear. Do you want a car that feels luxurious, but constantly demands attention? Or a car that delivers comfort and peace of mind? For many, the answer is obvious, and it's not just Lexus. Other brands have also stepped in, offering modern features, better reliability, and lower ownership costs, all at similar price points to older Mercedes models. So the competition isn't just stronger, it's smarter, and in today's market, that matters more than ever. Chapter 8. The emotional versus financial reality. There's something undeniably special about a Mercedes-Benz. The design, the history, the feeling of sitting behind the wheel of a car that once represented the pinnacle of luxury. For enthusiasts, that emotional connection is powerful, but emotion doesn't pay for repairs. It doesn't replace failing electronics. It doesn't make parts cheaper or easier to find. And that's where the conflict begins, because owning an old Mercedes isn't just a financial decision, it's an emotional one. You want to believe it's worth it. You want to believe the experience justifies the cost. But over time, reality catches up, and for many owners, that realization comes too late. After the repairs, after the frustration, after the dream has already started to fade. Chapter 9. The cars that still survive. Despite everything we've talked about, not all old Mercedes-Benz cars have been abandoned. In fact, some of them are quietly becoming more valuable than ever. But these aren't the cars you find sitting neglected in used car listings with suspiciously low prices. These are the cars that come from a completely different era, an era before complexity took over, before cost-cutting diluted the experience, and before technology became both a blessing and a curse. We're talking about pre-1990s Mercedes. Machines built with a philosophy that feels almost extinct today. Cars that weren't designed around software updates, sensors, and fragile electronics, but around mechanical strength, simplicity, and longevity. Back then, Mercedes engineers weren't thinking about reducing production costs or chasing rapid innovation cycles. They were building cars to last decades. Over-engineering wasn't a flaw, it was the entire identity of the brand. And you can feel it, the weight of the doors, the solidity of the chassis, the way everything operates with a sense of purpose rather than complexity. These cars don't rely on dozens of electronic modules to function. They rely on engineering fundamentals that age far more gracefully. That's why they survive. Not because they're cheap, but because they're dependable in a way modern cars struggle to replicate. However, here's where reality sets in. These cars are no longer part of the daily driver world. They've crossed over into something else entirely. They are passion projects. Owning one isn't about convenience, it's about commitment. It's about understanding that parts may take time to source, that maintenance requires patience, and that ownership is as much emotional as it is mechanical. You don't just drive these cars,